everybody, I am here to do a book talk on The Last Olympian by Rick Riordan, the fifth and final book in his Percy Jackson and the Olympian series, and it is so sad that I'm having to book talk this because I finished it. It's Friday morning, really early Friday morning. I'm going away, so I thought I'd get up early to film. Big mistake. So I finished it on late Wednesday night, and I was just so upset by the fact that it was over that I had to go downstairs and watch some weird TV show that my dad likes to take my mind off it. And then I found it really difficult to think about Percy Jackson, so I couldn't film my review. I don't know, it just upset me every time I thought about it. So I had to like distract myself with Game of Thrones. It was getting ridiculous, but I'm over it now. I'm not over it. So I told myself, savour this book, Freya. It's the last one. Take it slow. Don't rush it like the others. Of course I didn't take it slow. It's so fast paced. So I'm holding up this edition, but I actually read this ugly British edition. Why would you read this ugly British edition when you have this pretty American edition, you may ask? Well, that's because I felt like I owed it to myself. That sounds so odd. About 3 years ago now, for my birthday, September the 8th, 2000 and something, I received this book for my birthday. Now, my mum bought it for me, and she didn't realise that it was the last book in a series. So I started reading it. I was like, oh yeah, I've heard such great things about Percy Jackson. And I'm like, whoa, this book makes no sense. It's so confusing. Then I realised. So I was really excited to get started with this book because I remembered, for some reason, that scene in the car with Rachel. I remembered that as being Annabeth, and I was thinking beforehand, oh, it's so weird that I remember Annabeth as having red hair. That's because it's Rachel. That is because it's Rachel. And then when Rachel kissed Percy in that first scene, I literally dropped the book in disgust. I was like, and then I picked it up again because exciting action scene about to come. So then he goes to Poseidon's sea palace at last, and it's a bit depressing really. Old Poseidon was so depressing because I always liked younger Poseidon. He was like so cool and it's just so casual. Then old Poseidon was like really Disney and depressing. Nico, we had a lot of Nico in this book. If you've watched my Titans Curse video, you'll know I absolutely hated Nico, and past me would be absolutely disgusted at me saying I loved Nico because of what he said about Annabeth. I love Nico. He's changed and I love him. Yeah, I'd already decided I loved him right at the start of the book, so I wasn't too bothered when he tricked Percy. I was like, no, but I like this character, so I'm gonna forgive him. Oh my god, when Percy was offered immortality and to become one of the Olympians, he was like, no, because he wanted to be with Annabeth. Really? I knew he wouldn't become a god, but the fact that he didn't because of Annabeth was just, oh, it's so cute. Rachel, I hate Rachel. She's so stupid. Why come to New York away from your bad holiday in exchange to from your nice holiday in exchange to go somewhere you really don't want to go, and then so you can just get to New York where you are probably going to die? Like, seriously, what do you think a puny mortal like yourself's going to be able to do? Like, seriously, leave it to Percy, the invulnerable half-blood with amazing fighting powers. He's going to sort it out. Percybeth. Right. When Percy, their get-together scene was absolutely adorable. It was like, no, announcement, best get together scene of all time. I said it. Percybeth was the best get together scene of all time. Still waiting for Stydia. But best get together scene of all time. So when Percy was like confessing his feelings and Annabeth started laughing, he was like, oh my god, you're so not making this easy for me. And then Annabeth kissed him and everyone and someone just shouted, it's about time. And I was like, I know, right? Random person shouting from the outside. And then they like carried them out on their shoulders and they had the best underwater kiss of all time, which was just adorable. Rachel is the new Oracle. That's interesting. I'm guessing her prophecy, the Big Seven and everything, has something to do with this little series here. Yeah, I borrowed this from the library, so I'll read this when I go away. Really excited. I was going to start it straight away after I finished this one, but I was just so depressed after this book that I had to go and distract myself with Game of Thrones, as I've already mentioned. So from what I've heard from Christine's book talk, Percy and Annabeth are a big part of these books. Thank God. I mean, this book is pretty much an excuse to like carry on the money making without like dragging out the series horribly, and I'm okay with that. I am very, very much okay with that, and I am grateful for that extra money making. So yeah, Rachel's the new Oracle, and Annabeth was like grinning when she realised that Rachel couldn't date Percy. She's like, oh, so Rachel, you're the new Oracle now. Guess you won't be dating anyone then, will you? Oh god, Annabeth is not quiet about her feelings for Percy. Nico and Hades helped save the day! I was so happy when Nico came through, like, surrounded by an army of undead warriors. And I was just like, oh my god, this is awesome. I just want this scene to carry on forever. So someone spoiled me. It wasn't a bad spoiler, I was really happy when someone spoiled me. And they said, oh no, but Luke becomes a hero in the end. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I assumed he would go see the error of his ways before the last book and go back to Team Good and help them fight Kronos. But no. And when Kronos inhabited him, I assumed he would fight Kronos off and go join Team Good. But no. He had to go and die. I feel like Sansa Stark about that. I'm a stupid little girl with stupid dreams who never learns from this book. It's happened to me twice now. I thought he'd live. So when Annabeth was hurt after taking that blow for Percy and he like ran back with the Apollo medic, he was holding her hand and she was like, oh Percy, you're really cute when you're worried. I was just like, I know, right? I can just imagine his face. It's adorable. And then the Apollo healer was like, oh, there's a pharmacy a few streets away. And he was like, I wouldn't normally steal, but... And then, like, I think it's Travis Stoll is just like, oh, I would. And then a few minutes later, he's, come on, we have a pharmacy to raid. Oh, I mean, visit. Yeah. Apollo. I swear, he is the god of everything. Like, I think Apollo holds the record in this series for being the god of the most things. He is the god of the sun, awesome, medicine, oracles, these are so random, awesome, and poetry. And I looked on Wikipedia and he's also the son of plague, which is the son of plague, the god of plague, which is ironic because he's the god of medicine, and several other things, so that's odd. So yeah, that's all my feels. That's not all my feels. That are some of my feels about this book. What else should I add? Oh, Selena being the spy. Right, I predicted that she was the one pretending to be Clarice, but that wasn't exactly hard to predict. They revealed it in like the next page. I didn't predict that she'd be the spy. I think I sort of wondered at one point if she was the spy. I thought it'd be too obvious if it was Clarice, so I did sort of wonder if it was Selena, but it was just a passing thought. Yeah, so I'm going to put all of my favourite Percy Jackson books in order from least favourite to favourite, so just bear with me while I get them. So now I'm going to put them in order of least favourite to favourite. Now please bear in mind I absolutely loved all of these books, so when I say least favourite I still loved it, I just didn't love it ever so slightly much as I loved the others. So my least favourite, again I still loved it, would be The Last Olympian. No, not The Last Olympian, Battle of the Labyrinth, sorry. I don't know, it just got slightly boring. I say slightly boring. I just got a bit confused in the middle. I loved the start though with all the awkward Percabeth moments. And then it would be The Lightning Thief, and purely I think it's because it's his debut and it wasn't quite as strong as his others, which is natural. How am I doing this? Oh yeah. Which wasn't quite as strong as his other books, and also I read it as an audiobook, so it wouldn't have been as enjoyable. And then I'm going to go with The Titans Curse because of the lack of Annabeth and the too much Talia. But apart from that I loved it, especially Apollo, my new favourite character, Apollo. And then The Sea of Monsters, for a long time this was my favourite. And can you guess what the last one is? Of course it's The Last Olympian, because it was such a strong finale to the series and I loved it so much, and I was in book pain for a day or so, which is unusual for me because I'm usually over it after like 10 minutes. I'll like cry endlessly and have like massive what do I do with myself now moments, and then about 10 minutes later I'll be like, I'm gonna read Game of Thrones. That tends to be my instant reaction. So, when I'm back from my holiday, sorry I never did a book talk on the Battle of the Labyrinth. I have a lot of feels about that book, but no feels that weren't amplified in this book. So yeah, I won't do a book talk on the Battle of the Labyrinth unless I'm really bored one day. So when I get back from my holidays, I have a couple of videos to upload while I'm there, but when I come back on Friday and on Saturday I will be filming hopefully a book talk for this, and I can't wait to get more Percy, even though it's not narrated by him. The first thing I noticed when I opened it, third person, so I'm never gonna read Percy's perspective again, first person, well unless I reread these, which is very likely. Sorry for all the rambling and all the feels, but that's why you watch book talks. I will see you next time. Bye bye.